So, I just turned 30. Wish me a happy birthday in the comments. Your boy is finally an adult, sort of. But also, has been happening due to stress, genetics, and hormones, your boy is starting to go bald at an accelerated rate. And I'm going to talk to you about how I started to lose my hair. And I noticed this 7 years ago. I'm losing my hair. So when I was a kid, I was always very vain. I liked my looks. Because I grew up really short, it's something that, bugged me, my own self-esteem when I was a kid. But I always had long, luscious, and really thick hair. It wasn't until I noticed when I was around 22, 23, I'm like, wait, my uncle is completely bald, my cousin is bald, my dad still has hair, but there's a high likelihood of me, I'm gonna be losing all my hair. And people were like, no, Peter, your hair looks completely fine. You're not balding at all. The girls I date, I'm like, no, you look. I'm like, I am the one that I have to look myself in the mirror every damn day. So what has happened over the years is it's starting to get thinner and thinner and thinner. And then I'm like, yep, it's happening what I thought was happening. And I'm going to walk you through the journey of my acceptance, what you can do about it, and how I overall learned to not give a shit anymore. So, if you guys have not noticed yet, I've been having my hair purposely buzzed and cut short on purpose. Because, one, if you are thinning or balding, having your hair short makes your head look a lot thicker. And I'm gonna go into exactly, how I learned to deal with the whole fact that, oh my God, my hair is thinning. What is going on? So, me being a really short guy growing up, I was always really insecure about things like my height. Because I would get comments of like, oh yeah, I would like girls, and I would talk to them, and they'd be like, hey, Peter, you're really cute, but you're too short. And I think because of that, I had to accept my own insecurities at a very young age, where I realized that I cannot change that. So, why am I stressing about things that I cannot change? So, then as you get older and you realize, oh my God, my hair is actually starting to go, you need to understand and reverse engineer why is it that you losing your hair is such a big deal? Because on all your genetics and all your health, chances are losing hair is necessarily isn't a bad thing. It is just a cosmetic disease, aka genetic alopecia or something like that. What's happening is your hair follicles have terminal hairs, right? But slowly, those little hair follicles die and wither. And from you having long terminal hairs, it goes to vellus hairs, very wispy, to the point where the actual hair follicle dies and you don't have any hair. And you have that over across your head, you start to have patches of no more hair coming in because your hair is literally dying. As terrifying as that sounds. So, going on the very fact of reverse engineering why it is that you feel insecure, you feel like not good enough, is most likely it's for the approval of a mate. In my case, it's the approval of women. If you go the other way, maybe the approval of guys or just the overall people. Because when a guy tells me, haha, you're balding, or a comment, like, it doesn't really phase me. But if a girl says that, I'm like, why does that bug me? And it comes to the fact that you want to be approved by women. You want to get a mate, so you feel unattractive. And because you feel unattractive and you needing this external validation, you having hair is essentially, oh, you just lowered your chance of finding a person, a love of your life, or someone accepting you because you don't have hair anymore. And I realized this very fact by the fact that I grew up really short, man. And I realized, man, the world itself is tough, but it's not impossible to accept yourself and love yourself and understand that this is just a part of your nature.
If you meet a girl who breaks up with you because you're balding, then she's obviously not the right one.
So when it comes to actually balding, yes, it sucks. You need to go through the whole process of grief, essentially. So what that is anger, denial, and eventually acceptance. You need to understand that you didn't have the best genetic lineup or gene pool. You need to understand you go through the process, hey, I'm gonna lose my hair, but it's you still have your health. You need to be able to focus on what exactly do you have going on with your life. And most finally is you need to accept that this is what has been given to you. And the more you obsess over something that you cannot control, the more you probably feel anxious. You feel like, why the world is this happening to me? You get a lot of victim mentality. And you just become this general person of frustration and anger. And the minute you accept things, that's the beauty of life is that, yeah, it is what it is. Dating itself is going to be trickier, it's going to be harder, but it's not impossible. I've dated girls where they're like, oh, yeah, you're bald. I'm like, at least you have a nice shaped head. I'm like, gee, thanks. But it doesn't really stop me from dating. I haven't gotten rejected, or maybe I have, for the fact that I don't have hair or a lot of hair. But the very fact that I'm not completely bald, I have done things and understand where there's certain solutions where you can essentially make your balding head look less bald. Let me explain. So when it comes down to the very fact that you start losing your hair as a part of manhood, a part of being a guy, even though there's no really genetic disposition of like what's the natural selection of going bald? Only humans have this. And you need to understand that, yeah, there's certain things that you can do to make yourself seem less bald. Number one, super easiest way is to just shave your head, shave that dome. Because the more longer you try to hide it and like you have those wispy hairs and you're like, I've seen guys that have it. I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? You look even more of a weirdo trying to have that weird comb over and you ain't fooling nobody. The next step is you might have, a bunch of hats to just cover that ish up, but you eventually realize that you can't wear hats 24/7. Cutting it short, as well as there's a lot of things where it's like if it really bugs you, I'm like, why am I listening to this guy talk about losing his hair? He still has hair. There's certain things that you can do that are preventative or at least keeping the hair that you do have, right? Number one, Minoxidil. You can use that for the top of your head. Consult your doctor first and understanding that that is something that can help you maintain your hair. It's essentially Rogaine. If you have really big issues, you can talk to your doctor and talk about getting things on finasteride, essentially blocking your DHT, testosterone, androgen, that is pretty much your own hair killing itself. And of course, last but not least, there are really extreme measures and very intrusive measures like getting a hair transplant. I've done my research on this. There's things like you can get a FUE transplant where they literally cut a scar on the back of your head as donor hair and start planting new hair in the front here, right? Or in the middle, wherever. But what most people don't realize is like, yeah, you might have new hair that's transplanted here, but the rest of your head is still going to get bald. And take it from one of the OG greats of podcasting, Joe Rogan, when it comes to actually balding.
Transplants. And I
Yeah.
had my first one, I think, when I was like 26. I had 3 of them.
Why? Why so young? Just because you were
Because
bald?
my hair was falling out. I was fucking freaking out. I was freaking out when my hair was falling out because I was on TV too. And I was making a living like as an
Right.
actor at the time on news radio. And I was like, oh my God, my fucking hair is falling out. I had known it was falling out for a while. I saved it though with the minoxidil, and the minoxidil was hanging in there. But after a while, it was like, it was still falling out. And I was like, God, I got to do something about it. I should have never done anything. I should have shaved my head from the beginning. And so whenever kids ask me online, like dudes ask me, I'm fucking freaking out. I'm only 18. I'm losing my hair. Shave it, bitch. Just
Yeah.
deal with that. Just
I've had my hair for quite a long time, and I like to enjoy the most that I have with it. And I was able to do all the crazy hairstyles. I even bleached blonde my hair going Super Saiyan because I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to do whatever I want until I didn't have my hair anymore. And is this unfair? I'm like, yeah, man, it's a part of life. But hey, if you're watching this and you're balding and you're tall, bro, I'm jelly of you, right? Sometimes I went down the walk of life where I'm like, damn, man, God made me short and I'm losing my hair and I have a big ass forehead. Like, man, can it get any worse? And then it does. I think it all comes down to like really loving yourself and accepting yourself. And it comes down to, yes, man, like some people will find you unattractive, but why does that really matter? Because me being 30 now, what you realize is life is so much more important in other things than some cosmetic disease. You're healthy, you're here, you're watching this video, you have access to the internet. Most people even have access to that to the around the world. You never know. And it comes to, it's focus on things that you can control. And if you disregard and there's other measures, then sure. But sooner or later, you're probably gonna have to go completely bald. Unless you're Elon Musk and get some $1 million hair transplant, then go do it. But man, I nowhere across my mind that I'm like, I'm gonna drop 10,000, whatever amount of G's to fix my hair. I'm like, I feel more masculine without having any hair, but maybe that's just me trying to persuade myself to accept my balding. It comes down to the very fact that, yes, right, it's life, but as you grow up and you go through so much more in life and realize, man, life is real, people pass away, this and that, me losing my hair is not the end of the world. And if someone is going to reject you as a person for the fact that you do not have hair, that's it, then that's not the person that you want to be around. That's the environment you want to be around. Hell, my idol right here, Tupac, bro, is bald. One of the most OG gangsters of all time. You know, there's not a lot of bald Asian guys, but hey, you're watching on one of them now. And I also forgot to get and I also forgot to say that most guys will actually experience some sort of balding in your lifetime. Might not be now, but in the future. And you need to be able to see that coming. You might be one of the few lucky that they're like you're 60s or you're 70 years old and then you start losing hair, but sooner or later, Mother Nature is gonna be coming after you. So you better accept it now before, this is me whistleblowing. Start focusing on what you can control. If you want to do preventive measures, there are preventive measures. Start dressing better, right? You might not have hair, but you can control what clothes you wear and how you look better. Maybe grow a beard or facial hair so you can distract. You have glasses. There's a lot of ways where it's like you don't have to just be like, oh no, I'm bald, the world is over. There's even things like micropigmentation, like having like a tattooed hairline. You can have a hair system, But bro, at the end of the day, losing hair, it's not the end of the world, man. And I'm starting to learn that it's, something, it's a part of me, and I'm just learning to accept who I am. Because we're not on this planet for too long. And for you to stress and be like, oh my God, the world is over. Maybe because I realized this at a younger age that it didn't faze me. So I hope this video can help someone realize that, bro, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And, you're still great as a human being. And having hair or no hair should not take any away from the value that you already have. But yeah, I think this is going to be my last video on me losing my hair. Maybe in the future I'll bake it so I look like a freaking thumb. But I think for now it's just me keeping it short. I got a little bit temples. What's going on with my actual balding is like if I grow it out, y'all can actually see that, yeah, the back of my head is not as thick as the front. But I can actually maintain it for quite some time now. But I know that maybe in 10 years from now, it's going to be like a wispy mountain and I'm going to just have to go completely bald. But that's life, man. That is just life. There's so much other things to worry about as you get older. Trust me. Trust me.